By tapping the AUM icon to open the app. And we're going to turn on the ITAR with the power switch and then hit the 3 horizontal lines in the upper right hand corner. Hit the gear icon for settings and scroll down to Bluetooth Central. Go back to the ITAR, tap the pairing button. We'll see it appear in the list and tap it once to connect it. Start adding tracks by tapping the plus symbol in the middle of the screen, then selecting audio, and then the uppermost plus symbol, and select from audio unit extensions. I'm going to choose Sunrizer for my melodic instrument. Choose whichever one you prefer. Again, hit the plus symbol and audio to add another track, and the uppermost plus symbol. Again, scroll down. I'm selecting King of Digital here for my next track, which will be the bass line. Again, I'm adding another audio track. Audio unit extensions, and now we're going to add the OBXD3 for pad sounds in this case, and adding the final audio track here, we're going to go ahead and select the audio unit extension TAL-U-NO-LX from Togu Audio Line. Now let's add the 3 MIDI plugins we need to get this to work. Tap the plus and hit MIDI this time, and you see a MIDI track is added. Tap the uppermost plus symbol and select Audio Unit MIDI Processor and look for ChordPadX. Now double tap anywhere on that MIDI track to add another slot and tap the plus symbol again, Audio Unit MIDI Processor again, and we're going to be looking for the Rozeta Arpeggio. We want to add 2 instances of this particular plugin, so tap for another slot and add another instance of that same Rozeta Arpeggio plugin. Now, tap and hold the name of that channel, and you see you can drag it over and release. And now we've reordered our tracks. Just visual thing there. I'm doing that to separate the lead melody instrument from the other 3. Here's the lead track. It's a Sunrizer plugin. I'm going to go ahead and select the preset I already know that I want, something I dialed in custom. You can select whatever preset you prefer from your plugin for lead sounds. And I'm going to go through and do the same thing from the other 3 plugins, just selecting presets that I've pre-chosen for a bass sound, a pad sound, and sort of a harp-like pizzicato plucked sound on the TAL-U-NO-LX, which is actually preset 35 from the default bank, pizzicato sound 1. That's all the plugins we need, but let's go ahead and set up the routing. Hit the 3 horizontal lines next to the Sunrizer icon or whatever your plugin is, and we need to set the input to the ITAR here. Let's verify that we can play some sounds. Now we can hear that notes are coming through, so good we're playing it. We're getting some low notes too, though, all the way down to the lowest fret. And we want to constrain the melody only to the upper key so we can play something else on the lower frets. So we're going to go ahead and enter a note for the low end of the note range to filter out all the notes below it. Double tap it, and I'm going to enter in note number 79. I just happened to have figured that out previously. That's the G note on the 12th fret of the G string. So any pitch below that will not come through to the Sunrizer. Now I'm going to call up a preset that I have pre-configured for ChordPadX. If you need to learn how to use this particular plugin, there's any number of videos that can show you that. To save time, I've already configured it. We just need to route the MIDI to the OBXD3. Tap those 3 horizontal lines next to the ChordPadX icon and select the ITAR for the MIDI input. And for the MIDI output, we want to select the OBXD3. ChordPadX will respond to single incoming MIDI notes and play an entire chord. I've got it pre-configured to play chords in A minor, but you'll have to configure that yourself. Now let's link the outgoing MIDI from the ChordPadX into that first instance of the Rozeta Arpeggiator so we can play some arpeggiated bass lines based on those chords. We're going to set the Rozeta's MIDI input to ChordPadX and its output to the King of Digital. And now the incoming MIDI plays a chord from one note and then it gets arpeggiated. Let's set up the arpeggiator's settings. We need direction up, clock division 3, octaves 1, and everything else set as the default settings. Turn down the pad for a second. You can hear the arpeggiated bass line, and you can see it follows chords: minor, major, and the one diminished chord. Now in ChordPadX, I have it set up so any frets that are out of key won't trigger any chords. So melody on the upper frets and arpeggios on the lower frets. That's a little bit fast though, so let's change the tempo here up in the left-hand corner here. Double tap, and I'm going to go ahead and enter 130 beats per minute. Playing some triplets there. Bring the pads back in. We're playing all of this with one finger. Now let's route ChordPadX into the second Rozeta Arpeggiator and into TAL-U-NO-LX. 3 horizontal lines next to the Rozeta icon. And for the MIDI input, we're going to select ChordPadX. And for its MIDI output, we're going to go to TAL-U-NO-LX. We want to set some different settings for this arpeggiator. And we have up-down for direction, clock division is 6, octaves is 3, and everything else is the default settings. Let's check it out. I'll turn down the other 2 tracks so we can hear it by itself. And we can hear it's sort of a harp-like thing going on.
Jam time.